If your house isn't selling in Huntsville, the problem is usually one of three things: price, presentation, or access. And in most cases, price is the biggest issue. That doesn't necessarily mean your home is dramatically overpriced. It may only be priced high enough that buyers see better value somewhere else. The worst thing you can do is keep waiting and hoping the right buyer eventually comes along. Instead, you need to determine what the market is telling you and make the right adjustment before your listing becomes stale. Huntsville buyers have more choices today than they did a few years ago. They're comparing your home with other resale properties, new construction, builder incentives, interest rate offers, and homes that may already have the updates they want. Your home doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to make sense compared with everything else buyers can purchase for roughly the same monthly payment. Let's start with price. Sellers naturally think about what they paid, how much they've invested in the property, what a neighbor sold for, and how much they need to walk away with. Those things matter to you, but they don't determine market value. Buyers are looking at the homes available right now. Suppose three similar homes in your area are listed around $350,000, while yours is listed at $375,000. Most buyers won't look at your home and think, let's offer $350,000. They'll usually tour the other homes first. If one of those properties meets their needs, they may never see yours at all. That's why an overpriced home often receives fewer showings instead of simply receiving lower offers. Buyers don't always negotiate with a listing they believe is too expensive. They often skip it. Your home may only be 5% above where buyers see the value, but that can still be enough to remove it from consideration. The second possible problem is presentation. Most buyers see your home online before they ever see it in person. They're looking at the first photo, scrolling through the rest, and deciding within seconds whether your home belongs on their showing list. Dark photographs, cluttered rooms, heavy furniture, unfinished repairs, worn flooring, or an uninviting exterior can stop a showing before it starts. Take an honest look at your listing photos. Do the rooms look bright and spacious? Can buyers understand the layout? Are the strongest features easy to see? Does the home appear clean, maintained, and ready for someone to move into? Sometimes a home looks much better in person than it does online. That may sound reassuring, but it's actually a problem. Buyers have to like the online presentation before they'll schedule the appointment. Presentation also affects value. A buyer may like your floor plan and location, but if the home appears to need paint, flooring, landscaping, or other updates, they'll mentally subtract those costs from what they're willing to pay. And buyers usually estimate those expenses much higher than the actual cost. The third issue is access. If showing your home is difficult, some buyers will move on to another property. 24-hour notice, narrow showing windows, tenants, pets, or frequent appointment restrictions can reduce your opportunities. That doesn't mean you have to allow strangers into your home at any hour. It does mean you should make it as easy as reasonably possible for qualified buyers to see the property. Relocating buyers are especially important in the Huntsville area. Someone coming into town for a short house hunting trip may have only 1 or 2 days to tour homes. If your property can't be shown during that window, you may not get a second chance. So how do you determine which problem is holding your home back? Start with the showing activity. If you've had very few showings, the problem is usually price, marketing, or both. Buyers may not see enough value to schedule a visit, or the online presentation may not be creating interest. If you've had several showings but no offers, the issue is more likely price, condition, presentation, or a specific objection buyers discover once they enter the home. Next, review the feedback. One buyer's opinion may not mean much, but when several buyers mention the same concern, you should pay attention. Maybe they think the primary bedroom is too small. Maybe the home feels dark. Maybe they're concerned about an outdated kitchen, an aging roof, a steep driveway, or traffic near the property. Some objections can be corrected, others can't. Price is often the tool that balances a feature you can't change. Then compare your home with the current competition. Don't rely only on sales from last year or the highest sale in the neighborhood. Look at the homes buyers are choosing from today. Which homes are active? Which ones recently went under contract? What condition are they in? How are they presented? What incentives are nearby builders offering? And most importantly, what makes your home the better choice at its current price? You should also review recent closed sales, preferably from the last 60 to 90 days, when enough comparable properties are available. Active listings show your competition. Pending sales show what buyers are choosing. Closed sales show what buyers were actually willing to pay. Together, those numbers give you a much clearer picture than an online estimate or an old neighborhood sale. Once you've reviewed the evidence, decide whether your home needs a price adjustment. Avoid making a series of small reductions that never move the property into the right position. Dropping the price by $2,000 or $3,000 may not change how buyers see the home. A useful adjustment should place the property in the right search range, improve its position against competing homes, and give buyers a genuine reason to reconsider it. For example, a home listed at $387,000 may not benefit much from dropping to $382,000. The real competition may be between $360,000 and $375,000. A stronger adjustment could expose the home to a different group of buyers and create a clear value advantage. That doesn't mean every home needs a large reduction. The adjustment should be based on the data, not frustration or guesswork. What if you've already reduced the price and the home still isn't selling? Then it's time to take another look at the entire strategy. Are the photographs strong enough? Does the home show as well as the competing listings? Are buyers repeatedly mentioning the same issue? Is the property easy to show? Did the reduction actually put the home into a better search range, or was it too small to change anything? You may need another adjustment, but don't assume price is the only answer. Sometimes the better approach is to improve the presentation, replace the photos, correct repair issues, simplify access, and reposition the home with a stronger marketing message. If the listing is still active, you may be able to reset the strategy without removing it from the market. If the listing has expired, don't simply put the same property back online with the same price, photos, and description. That isn't a relaunch. It's repeating the same strategy and hoping for a different result. A real relaunch should make it obvious that something has changed. That change might be the price, condition, staging, photography, access, marketing, or a combination of several factors. Buyers and agents can often see the previous listing history. A fresh listing number alone will not erase what happened. The good news is that a home that didn't sell is not necessarily an unsellable home. It usually means the first strategy didn't connect with the buyers who were in the market. When you identify the real problem and correct it, the home can become competitive again. Here's the simple plan. First, review the showing activity and repeated buyer feedback. Second, compare the property with today's active, pending, and recently sold competition. Third, make one clear adjustment that addresses the actual problem instead of making several small changes that don't alter the buyer's perception. The longer a home sits without a meaningful response, the more likely buyers are to assume something is wrong with it. That's why waiting is not a strategy. The goal isn't to reduce the price unnecessarily or spend money on improvements buyers won't value. The goal is to diagnose what's holding the home back and make the adjustment most likely to improve your outcome. If your Huntsville area home is currently listed, has expired, or you're trying to decide whether to make a change, a fresh set of eyes can help you separate the emotional side of the sale from what the market is actually saying. If you're thinking about selling, buying, relocating, or investing in the Huntsville area, this is where a short conversation can save you a lot of time and guesswork. Schedule your free 20-minute strategy call using the link in the description. And if you're trying to determine whether the problem is your price, your marketing, or the condition of the home, watch the next video on the screen. It explains how buyers compare your property with the other homes available and why that comparison determines whether they schedule a showing or keep scrolling. Hi, and thanks for watching. I'm Steve Stinson with Keller Williams Realty. I've been helping people move across the Tennessee Valley since 2005. If you're considering a move, schedule your complimentary strategy call. A short conversation can save you time, money, and help you make better decisions. The link is in the description. Hey, if you're not planning a move right now, share this video with someone who is. I'm sure they'll find it helpful, and I'd be glad to help them make a wise move too.
Oh.